I think I'll fall in love with this place and I won't want to ever come back to the city.
And then you told me, I'm not buying into your community today, I'm buying into your vision, and I believe you. This is understated luxury.
It was not about the land, honestly,
Being the vice chairman of GT,
about the person that is you.
the global CEO of KPMG, I'm going to take somebody whose time is so precious and valuable,
But you have no friends left.
the biggest of corporate world. I'm trying to create something that doesn't exist in this country. I would take this opportunity to introduce Richard, who was introduced to me as a prospective client, which today has become my mentor and a very, very dear friend. I'm so happy that today I'm meeting our ritual of an afternoon coffee that we typically have at Oberoi every couple of months. Today turned into a good casual lunch at Frangipani because he was staying here and I was happened to coming here. So we thought, let's meet here and have a good lunch. And yes, so my my first instance, if I may say about Richard, is that someone common to both of us connected. If you remember, Richard, that we
Yeah.
were connected, and I was honestly very scared. This was about 9-10 years back, and when we were conceiving Frangipani, and somebody who knew about me conceiving this community said, "Sir, we would like you to meet Mr. Richard Rekhy, and then global CEO of KPMG." I said, "Why would you want me to meet him, and what value addition can I bring to a man of that stature?" He said, "No, no, sir, you meet him and tell him about Frangipani." I said, "There's nothing to tell and there's nothing to show because it was, if you remember, it was all on the drawing board and all in my head." He fixed up a time and you came from the airport on a Saturday afternoon and we met for evening tea at 5 o'clock, and you had a very tight schedule. We sat over and he told me, "Sir, just 30 minutes, sir will meet you." I said, "No problem. I mean, we'll have a cup of coffee, 30 minutes, whatever I can talk, I'll talk." I remember that meeting lasted for more than an hour and a half. And you called up your secretary and you said, "Listen, postpone my ticket. I want to visit the community." And that shocked me.
My mother, who was alive at that time, she said, I want a place which has got a big gardens because that's what she was used to when she was growing up. Big gardens and everything, and where I can keep my dogs and I can sit out. So I said, this was perfect. Let me tell you, I'd seen a lot of properties, but this got me straight. One thing which you told me at that time, you build a small house and you can keep as much land as possible free for whatever you want to do. And that was something that really got me because normally what happens in real estate, every single inch is built up to maximum extent and there is nothing left. So then I decided, ki, this is it. I met a very good human being in you, Prashant, and I mean it. I don't say these things loosely. The coffees we had were always experiential for me to learn about how the business is done, how we discuss so many topics and, whatever, completely random thoughts. At that time, I didn't know that we both happened to go to the same school. So it was not the property. I didn't even observe kitna dur hai, nahi hai. I remember you told me 1.5 hour aise lagta hai. So you said roads will come. It was, I think, that time agriculture land you were converting it.
Correct.
So all that I still remember. Uh, in life, most of my decisions, I would say 95 or 98% of decisions are taken from my gut. I don't think. मेरा inner voice जो बोलता है मैं वही करता हूँ. And wherever I have not done what my gut has told me to do and I reason out, I try to logically reason out, those have all gone wrong mostly. And so I said, okay, I'm taking this thing, and that's how we started.
I'm trying to create something that doesn't exist in this country. Something that's out of my sheer passion and my vision in my head that I don't even know whether it's making sense, it's not making sense, but something that I just felt I want to do. That's why I never spoke commercial because this was never about money. And while going in the car and coming back, you were basically trying to read the depth of this man's intent and capability And that is where I think is your experience over years.
Yeah,
With
because real estate and not developed is always a risk. I think the way I see it, uh, from whatever family he comes from or whatever, he has never come and said, I'm so and so. He's been very simple, very down to earth. And that actually inspired me that I want to do something with him because I could trust him. Trust is a very important factor. And, and, and it proved whenever any issue I has to call him, it is to get resolved. And he would get upset. Why is this issue there also? So I think it's all about integrity, honesty. I would say those would be the shared values, passion, energy to build something which is there for future generations to benefit from, because these kind of properties don't get built every day. And when you walk around now and you see the horticulture, etc., I mean, in which other property you will get so much investment made without selling? Made some of the plots are still to be sold, but he's invested and is keeping the upkeep of it, which I think is great. Because I wanted a property away from the city.
Okay.
Because the city was too claustrophobic, and where I live in Alsur is like CBD of Bangalore.
Right.
I mean, while the advantages are there of 8 hotels being within 10 minutes walking distance from my home, Oberoi, Taj, whatever, but uh, it was a very closed kind of environment. Plus, I had many pets. So I needed a space for them, needed a space for myself. I never realized at that time what I was coming into, very honestly. And I was really surprised the first time I came here. I said, wow, because I'm a swimmer. I wanted a life where you could relax, where you're away from the humdrum of the city and you just be with yourself. That this will add 5 years to your life, living here, just living here and doing nothing more than that. So I said, if you can have 5 years of quality life, why not? That was one thing which really stuck in my head. We were building this nature park. You were with that artificial lake, sort of. So all this was adding to the this thing. And I have not seen such beautiful bougainvilleas. I'll be surprised if anybody who comes here sees this and doesn't want to invest here. So for me, it was a done thing.
We've had some of the most profiled people who have visited this community.
Yes,
And we always believe the visit is always a process of elimination
correct,
because this community was never about affordability.
correct.
It was always about the mindset and the philosophy of life. Like you said, you have a clear philosophy, say 10 years back when you met me last time, and you had a clear vision that how you want to see your quality. It was never about the money.
Yeah,
So we've had people who've come, and now with so many more residents who are already, the profiles that they are people who have understood that this is understated luxury and that they want their lifestyle to be the way that
yeah,
it is right.
yeah. So it is not about luxury. It is about, I would say, the luxury of life which we miss. The sunrise, the sunset, very simple things. We miss it.
Simple things in life.
If you live in the city, you never see a sunrise or sunset, right?
You don't see the
Here you see that I've got a lot of pictures early morning, take my dogs for a walk, the picture, the sunrise.
But you are the first person to tell me that there are peacocks in the community.
Yes, the peacocks in my property.
And I never believed you. I'm being honest with you till I got my property manager to him to personally and spot and then send me a pic. I said, you are such a well wisher that you'll say something to. I said,
No, no, peacock in my property. Forget about any other land.
let me.
Yeah, so but when the dogs chase them, they run away. So that was the thing. I'm not an expert in real estate. I would not have thought about it. Actually, all this doesn't have any meaning to me. What has meaning to me is the quality of life I'm getting here. And I remember you telling me so many times, Jake, why don't you stay more often there? Why you bought it?
I would.
And there are months
You were
months.
busy in between so much.
Yeah, so months I've not gone.
Staying.
Now I'm staying quite regularly, and I was telling somebody yesterday, I think I'll fall in love with this place, and I won't want to ever come back to the city because it gives so much. And I may say, "Calm, chodo yaar." Now this is better. This is because it just makes you happy. If you ask me.
Richard, tell me, we always, whenever we meet, we talk about politics to Bollywood to all sorts of gossips under the sun just to switch off from our day to day life. Because now, being the vice chairman of GT and the positions globally you've held as a global CEO of KPMG and then your Dubai chapter, you've been somebody who's dabbled with almost the biggest of corporate world and you met the top bosses in the political circuit as well as in the private sector. What's your work-life balance?
As far as I'm concerned, I'm not sure I really understood work life balance while I was working. What I understood was work life harmony, and I ensured that there was enough harmony in the between my work and others. But later on, I realized that work life balance is about this five ball theory.
Okay.
There are
Five
five
ball
balls.
theory.
Yeah, the
Okay.
five balls is what we juggle in life. One is family, friends, health, spirituality, and work, career, or whatever you want to call it, business, whatever. Four of them, the first four, are glass balls. The fourth one is a rubber ball. So if the glass ball falls, it breaks or there's a crack. And the rubber ball bounces back. Girega bhi, you get another job, you start a new business, whatever. But many people, and this is mainly for all the youngsters and others, focus on the last one, which is the rubber ball, which bounces back. So I think this five ball theory is a very good reminder how you can, how do you juggle all these balls and keep everybody in good humor? Because ultimately, as human beings, it's a complete human if you have all these aspects going, spirituality, this, everything.
Because I know whenever you've been globetrotting always for years since I know you, but you'll always make that effort to come back to be with your family, your daughter, your dogs. That's something that now that you say, I realize that you will take out that time, even if it's less in number of days, but you
Correct.
take out the quality time to be with them.
Yes. So I think we have to work to balance it and make sure that none of these balls drop. Some people look at luxury buying these very, very expensive apartments where they pay 100 crores for one apartment in Delhi, Gurgaon.
I know.
Those camellias, etc., or 70, 80 crores, whatever. And here, you really get the luxury of life. Good air, no pollution, uh, clean. I mean, I was the other day with my daughter walking in the night with the dogs, and I said, "Where do you see stars?" I mean, all the stars were all visible in the sky. After a long time, I've seen stars. So I think these are things we have forgotten. And with our work, we have forgotten. This, according to me, is real luxury. The problem is everybody thinks luxury is when you pay money. Then it's luxurious. But these are free and they're the most luxurious because they are adding to your relationships, they're adding to you being a better human being, and of course, improving your health. So I think this place has been amazing for me. Um, uh, I've had this place for a long time, never used it quite often, used to come here sometimes. And now recently, because my house is getting renovated, I'm spending much more time here when I come to this side. And my dogs are loving it. I'm loving it. Everybody's loving it. So all happy. The servants also happy. At least they've got some work to do.
And if I may add, Richard, what you mentioned about this air is free and the day, what happens that if we are coexisting with nature, what
Yeah.
happens? Nature is such a booster to our, whether it's to our thought process, to our demeanor, to our calmness, to our entire blood flow. Today, what is happening? They are everywhere. Nature is being given as a amenity or as a addition. Here, it is a priority. You and me are additions to this environment that is created. That was
So-
basically the whole idea.
So it is not just about the horticulture you've created the turkeys, the peacocks, the different birds which come here. I'm not a bird watcher, but anybody who's a bird watcher will
Yeah,
very
yeah.
interested.
I know one of the other residents was telling me they've got that some bird called paradise here. They've got some names.
Yes.
I haven't done a lot of research on the birds, but I'm told that some crazy species are seen here,
So I
obviously
think
because of the tree cover that we
the
have.
second one is a tree cover. Secondly, I'm not sure there are many properties like Frangipani which has invested so much into horticulture. One, to make it look beautiful. Second, also to create an environment where the birds come and more birds will flock. Number one, because of this water body, because of the trees. All those trees in your rejuvenation park all have got medicinal values. That's another thing that surprised me. You said कि हर पेड़ में there is some medicine value in each of them.
Correct, correct,
And
correct.
so I think there is natural medicine for people.
So I remember when the architect asked me and I was sitting on the drawing board with him, and I said, apart from these, first I said I want estates of 20,000 square feet minimum. Fine. And I said I want a road which should be 100 feet wide. Okay. He was hearing me. He thought that I'm a first and that I had no idea that how to conceptualize a community. Then I started and I kept continuing. Then he could not control himself because being an architect and I'm supposed to pay him fees, he was trying to be very nice to me. He said, "Sir, I'm sorry, but here I have to interrupt." I said, "Yes, tell me." He said, "Sir, you're saying all this for about 35 residents?" I said, "Yes." He's saying, "Sir, you want a 2-acre lake, a 2-acre park, you want a 100 feet wide road, you want a 2-acre club just for 35 families?" I said, "Yes." So I said, "Sir, when you're giving a park, why do you need a lake? Because the lake, to create a lake of this magnitude is a very expensive proposition and not a viability to, if you divide it also among 33, is not viable cost-wise." I said, "Boss, I am not here looking at economics. I'm looking at creating a perpetual ecosystem." To answer your question, you said, "Na, the birds coming because there's water." So this eco balance of having water and green cover is what invites birds for migration. So this was not created because it will look beautiful to people. Upfront, I asked them, how do you see respecting yourself what is created here? See, you can have money to buy, but do you have the mindset to respect and maintain what is? Because I'm not here forever. At some point, the community is going to be the legacy of all the residents here. They have to understand that what is it that they are getting as legacy and are they ready to respect and maintain that legacy? So that's what we created, and those residents say that yes, we can't even think anything other than what we are seeing and we'd like it to be the way it is.
And before I forget, I think the number of fruit trees you have planted in every plot.
Every state has the
different fruits. So I think that is also a big luxury to people who come in.
ready
They're
made,
already ready-made. Yeah, so
yeah,
it takes 7-8 years to grow. So I think that also is great. You look at the fountain, you see it. If you're close by, you can hear the noise. Look at the ducks. So many times I've seen these ducks swimming across from here to the other end. It's these are very soothing and
I don't know. I have told you many times. Do you come and sit here? You should do your work calls or you should do your Zoom calls sitting here. Yeah.
Maybe I should do that.
You should come and sit here at the deck and just imagine your brain power will go multiple times.
Yeah. I never tried this, Prashant, what you suggested to come here and take a call from here. First of all, the people on the other side of the camera are going to be jealous. Punta, where are you sitting? So that will be the first thing, which emotion I can see coming out. But I think this calms your mind, and a calm mind thinks better. So the question he was asking, that how does it do? I think it makes you think better.
I think that
more clearly.
What I come here almost every week, not because there's work. I mean, both the girls look after the work, but I come here just because it helps me to connect back with myself. I mean, that 1.5 hours that I personally spend here with myself helps me to clear a lot of my pending thoughts, lot of my blurriness in my mind, resonates with myself, just gives me better sense of clarity. Yes. Above anything else.
Yeah. I think this island is really beautiful, this Palm Island. and I've seen it in its prime when it rains. It really looks beautiful.
Yeah, so and yeah, you say small sit outs in between, so that somebody wants to read a book there, just connect with themselves.
And
That's
they
the whole
see the water, they can see the duck
yeah.
there, the duck swimming. So it's fantastic. Very good.
So, Richard, you've been always asking that who are the people who have already got connected to the journey and the philosophy of Frangipani, and I've shared the kind of pedigree and names. And I think one thing that you have realized from day one is the basic philosophy that every person who has become part of journey of Frangipani has to be a or has been a self achiever, is not somebody who's endowed with family wealth or has come, sold some land and got a windfall and then coming and investing into Frangipani. That has not, because the whole idea is that people who are self achievers, who have made a mark for themselves, both as an impact to the society as their personal growth and work related output, also to the growth they have done for themselves in terms of their wealth, they know how to respect what environment we have created. Because what happens, money coming fast goes fast. The money does not bring thinking. I mean, this is my belief that if you have money, does not bring you class. Class comes with the, like today, from the time from your education days to where you are today, it's a journey that you have done is self made. And when I met you first, and when I was resonating with myself that what should be my audience, where do I search for those 33 like minded families who I wanted to be one large family at the end of the completion of Frangipani. And the only thing that made sense to me was that let's get in people who will respect the environment that is created. So you've had interaction with few of the people who are already now part of what do you think is
No. So I think one thing is clearly coming out exactly what you said. These are people who have made it to life through their hard work, and they understand the true value of money. It's only when you earn the money you realize what the true value of money, however big or small it may be.
correct?
So, and in life has so many kind of changing kind of things out here. So when the community starts coming and starts living, I think a lot of common activities will start. Maybe yoga, maybe something else like this.
Yeah.
So all these things will start,
Hmm.
and it will make community come together somewhere in some all those.
True.
And the clubhouse is so beautiful, like I said. So that's a nice common meeting place for people to come and meet. And I think it's and all the people that who I know about are all people who have seen life from the lower level to the upper level, and they truly understand. And also, this environment actually is a very personal thing in my view, because if you respect environment will respect you.
Bus. That's
And
what I believe in.
yeah, and also when we keep hearing hurricanes, floods, this, I think it's environment hitting back.
Yeah.
I mean, you come into my, and you have destroyed me. Now I'll show you what destruction is. So I think we have to stop cutting trees, plant trees like what you have done here, and we need to bring the forest back actually
You
to
know,
whatever extent possible.
how much ever delegation, I think, I don't know if you're aware that everything is delegated here except for one thing, that is, even if they have to cut a branch, that permission has to go from the MD's table.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You are asking me, do you use this park? Whenever I'm here, every morning 6:30 I'm here
Huh.
till 7:30 in this park and around this area. In fact, this is my street, like somebody was saying. And
So the joke goes that my property management team, everybody, so when they're referring the street, sir, this is Richard Sir's street. I said, not bad, sir.
and also the one reason I took this property is that L-shaped
Yeah.
place it was.
I remember that this is the only property that has got a
Yeah.
L-shaped estate.
Yeah. So finally, I am at my home at Frangipani. This is my life which is the life that Prashant promised. I'm now living it. And these are all my dogs, whoever you can see in the frame. Few of them are still not come out. And I'm really enjoying myself here.
It was amazing. Thank you for your time and the lunch we had. It was good rather than sitting at Oberoi, which also is a great experience. But I thought this was amazing to just walk around the community with you as one of my first well wishers and mentors to this community and to me personally. I think this is the first time that we have spent time together, so much time together here,
Yes.
chatting up and catching up.
Yeah.
Thanks a ton.
No, Prashant, first of all, thank you for your hospitality. A beautiful lunch, your two lovely daughters, your wife, your father, which was the icing on the cake, meeting him. But I think uh, I would also, like I was saying, that this property which you have now conceived, I remember you kept talking of the clubhouse, and it took some time to come. But when it came, it was really beautiful, and you've got places to stay. So all the customers who are now going to come in, they'll have the advantage. At least they have a place to stay.
Using it.
Yeah, they're using it, and you are been very gracious there. So I think it was an afternoon really well spent, and thank you so much for this. Thank you,
Okay.
thank you,
Thank
thank
you.
you, thank you.